Look at that. That's one
And
of
tell
a
her the
kind. She's
shirt
out of
looks
here.
all right too.
Hey,
Tell her the
Okay,
shirt looks
Randy,
okay also.
you made it weird.
welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm the fabulous Randy Twyford. Thank you.
I'm Emma Derflinger, and this is episode 78.
78.
Oh, where does 78
Wow.
fall into the chain?
What do you mean? Sure, 78.
There's got to be able
Kind of
something
boring.
78.
78.
Sure there
will
is,
be
and I'm
great.
sure
There you go.
I don't know.
78 will be great.
Back in the summer of that was 69. God, 69 was a good
69.
one.
Let's
Let's just re-record 69. Maybe it
There you
should
go.
be.
Let's
Maybe
not.
it should always be episode 69. So today is episode 69 plus 9.
0.78.
Good math.
Or just make it a point
Right.
something. So, Darren,
Okay.
I see. You're
I
coming
told you.
from,
I told you we get interrupted 15 times.
Hello.
Hi, Luke.
Hey, Lucas. How
Darnell.
are you, man?
One of you is pretty and one of you is ugly.
He says one of you is pretty and one of you is ugly. God, Emma, I can't believe he called you ugly.
I can't either.
I can't either. The audacity.
Yeah.
What?
The
Did he just
audacity.
go, well? God damn.
So,
I'm never
God
inviting
damn.
him back on the podcast.
I see a little different backdrop than normal. The office,
Little
Darren.
backdrop.
Where are you
We're coming to you from the
broadcasting
holler. We're coming to
Heyo.
you
It's the Jack Daniels episode.
live from the Jack. We're in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
How many teams they
I
got
love
down
it.
there for this?
You know, I don't know all of them. 78, no, 78. 80 some, I think. 89, 90. I don't know. You got to beat them all, Randy. You know that.
Yeah, that's right. If they don't show
Little
up, you
chilly in the
still
holler.
got to beat them all. So,
A little
Huh?
chilly in the holler. You can see little chilly in the holler. You can see my breath. Right?
yes, you can. I thought you were just smoking a dap pen or something, maybe.
No. I'm
A dab pen.
a
Randy.
dab pen. What is a dab pen for all us?
Those aren't
Wholesome
legal
Iowa
in
boys.
most.
It's
Yeah.
a dab pen
Yeah,
is
Randy.
a pen that a dab will do you. So that's
A dab will do ya.
Does it?
little dab will do you. So
dab of
there
what?
you- the devil's lettuce.
Oh,
A
Marijuana.
dab of the devil's lettuce.
I'm a saint. I don't know what that is.
Right.
Moved to Illinois. We're just a bunch of sinners down here. So
I
so
know.
it's legalized here. So
It's legal in a lot of
how's-
places.
Tell us what's been going on down at the Jack Daniels, Darren.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
You know, we got in here on Wednesday. We made the track with the motorhome and the trailer. The trailer actually made it, so that was good. The water tanks didn't fall off. We got them.
I was wondering about that.
We got them. We got them on Sunday. Old T-Rex came over the house, and we got them all secured up. I'm gonna leave it up to an HVAC
Water
guy
tank
to,
and
to
everything
get,
made it.
Yeah, everything made it. Everything went smooth. Had a great drive. Beautiful driving weather. I mean, 80 degrees and no wind.
I
I mean,
bet.
just a beautiful drive. You know, it was just really nice traveling weather. But we got into Nashville. Must have been Tuesday night. It was dark. Must have been about 7:30. Pulled into the old
Right.
KOA, which was just a beautiful campground. I mean, just luxurious. I mean, really nice. Got everything set up and just kind of hung out for a little bit, hit the sack, and then we got up and came down into the holler, got set up down here a little before noon yesterday. And, you know, it took about with the truck. This is the first time that we unhooked the RV and trailer and put them side by side. And that took about 4 hours, I think, partially
Why'd that
because
take so long?
Well, it's tight down here, and I was encroaching on our neighbors,
Right.
which they knew since it's Mr. Darren's neighborhood down here on the front. So I have Luke from Old
Right.
Virginia Smoke on one side and T-Rex, and I said, hey, part of, you guys get to be next to me because, of course, I signed the spots on the front row of the Jack. That's why they call it Mr. Darren's neighborhood. And so the organizers call me and say, okay, Darren, who do you want next to you? That's the way it works. Because I am the senior citizen
Good.
at the Jack. I've been here more than anybody. 14 years, our time in the Jack.
I was just going
That's
to ask
pretty
you,
impressive.
how many times you've been there? Nobody else has been there 14 times?
Well, so I've been here 14 times. Bill Gillespie, who's 2 doors down, he's been here 12. So he was hoping I didn't get drunk because he's trying to overcome that. I've been told he asked the question to the organizer, and there is some international teams that the teams have been here more, but the team names have been here, but not the same cooks. So it's like there's
Sure.
teams that have been here for longer, but it was like their dads or it's a family team or international teams where the team switched over. The team name has stayed the same, but it's never really been the same cook has been here longer. So Bill Gillespie
I'll
at
be
12, me at 14. We think that's the longest. Now, somebody may prove us differently, but I don't think so. So we're the senior citizens.
That's
We're the
nice.
senior citizens. And you know what that gets you? Not a damn thing. Get you a front row spot,
Not a damn thing.
right? Get you a front row
So
spot.
it gets you something.
You know what that also gets you? It gets you the opportunity to get up at 5 o'clock on Friday morning. Boy, I'm getting some light coming through. But it gets you the opportunity to cook pork butts for the maintenance shed at 11 o'clock this morning. And so
Heck yeah, it
That's
does.
nice.
I'm turbo cooking. Let me check my. Yep, we're at 350 degrees. I'm turbo cooking pork butts for the maintenance shed lunch this morning. I did it last year, and I forgot all about it. And then they showed up yesterday with 4 pork butts and said, "Hey, you're doing our lunch tomorrow, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure I am." Shit,
Sure.
I forgot all about that. I didn't bring extra rub. I didn't bring extra sauce. I didn't bring anything. And they're like, "Yeah, we really like that Blues Hog sauce you brought last year." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't bring that. Tim was down here." Oh, there's no Tim, so I'm scrambling to find Blues Hog. So don't worry, I got people going to Walmart to buy Blues Hog sauce for them, and we'll get them taken care of.
Right.
Never know when you're going to need some maintenance. But we got set up, and so we were trying to get set up, and I put the slide outs out on the new motorhome. And I said, let's just put the slide outs out without leveling it, and so we can see where we're at, and then we'll adjust the motorhome. Well, then we go to put the slide out back in, and it wouldn't go in. And so 2 days later, we're still fucking around with trying to get a slide in it. And I've been on the phone 5 times with the RV tech. And so we're going to manually today have to we got a bad motor. We're going to manually have to ratchet in the slide in, but you got to release 2 motors and manually ratchet them in unison to get them in. So hopefully that's going to work. We're going to try and bring them in a couple inches, or at least one of them. Bring it in a couple inches and see if it works. If it'll work, then we can, after turn-ins tomorrow, we'll bring it in all the way. So that we can get home, and then we've got an RV appointment set up. Same thing when we bought an RV. I knew, just a lot of moving parts, a lot of shit's going to go wrong. Just one of those things. But, happy wife, happy life. You know how that works?
There you go. Exactly.
So, here we are. But you know what? It's the Jack. And it's Friday morning. And once I get this done, it's time to get focused. It's time to put our Tiger Woods hat on. Even though
it's already on.
It's already on. I was going to say, what's the significance? I know, but the significance of the Twyford barbecue hat.
Well, if anybody ever looks at any picture of me in a world championship, so Randy gave me this hat back in 2003. Okay, and it's got on the back, it's got "We Love Butts," and it's been torn to shit, right? And this was always my Lucky Awards hat, right? And so I wore it to awards. And there was a time in my life where this hat did not fit my head. But I still took it to awards. At some point in my early years, I wore it to awards. in my fatter years, I wore it around my belt loop. But at every world championship I've ever won, this hat was on me. So every world championship I've won, you can look in the picture, and this Twyford hat is on my head or on my belt loop. And so it is my lucky world championship.
What world championships have you won?
Well, so we've won the American Royal 3 times.
How many times?
2003, 2013, 2016, 2018. We had a near miss in 2006 where we lost it by 4/10,000th of a point. That's 0.0004. We've took reserve in the American Royal twice. We've won the Jack Daniels once back in 2014, and we kind of accidentally took reserve. Should have won it very easily in 2018. We won Houston in 2000, don't remember, 17, 16, 17. We won it wasn't a world championship, but we won the Sam's Club National Championship in 2017.
Right.
That or in 16, we always forget about that one, but that one was probably closer to that was a playoff. You had to qualify through a local, a regional, and a national. That was one of our most acclaimed wins because we were the only team to make it to the national championship 7 years in a row. Because you had to qualify, really? You had to be in the top. Well, you had to be in the top 10 in a local competition to make it to the regional. Nope, you had to be a top 7 in a local to make it to the regional, and then you had to be a top 10 in a regional to make it to the national championship. So there was like 50 locals, which then qualified you for 5 regionals and 5 regionals to the national championship, and we were the only team to make it all 7 years through that.
I'll be damned.
So yeah, so we've done our fair share of winning. Tuffy Stone, oh, we got a visitor.
Yeah.
We got a visitor.
Always.
So yeah, like Tuffy Stone, I think we've said this before. Tuffy Stone told me a long time ago. I think we were down here in the holler. Matter of fact, we were down here by the creek. We were doing an interview with his media company. He says, Darren, if you and I never ever win another trophy again, we've won our fair share.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we have.
But like another one would be nice.
Yeah, another one would be nice. I seem to do better at these things when I got a lot going on in my life.
Well, then you'll win this bitch, no problem at all.
I should win this bitch by 20. I mean, I did have some. I'll show you a picture. I did have some. We did have some devastation in Florida. Yeah, I mean we had. I mean, it was devastation. We had one screen.
So that's all you had tore out?
Yeah, we had one screen that got torn out.
Good for you. We were wondering.
Yeah, I was trying to, but don't worry, we will rebuild. I've already called the screen guy and said, hey, get your ass over there and fix that screen. And he gave me the thumbs up. So, yeah. No, we survived. We didn't get any water. Good. Nobody got any water. It was, we were.
Did they really?
Everybody survived down there. Yeah. No, we thought they were too. There was a lot of people that in lower elevation, like Jim Compart, he lives a few blocks away from me down there, and he's got a very low elevation house. And if he got flooded the last hurricane, and at 7 feet, he starts to take on water. And at 8 feet, he's got water in the house. And he was really worried. He was watching the cameras, but then about 7:00 that night, all our cameras went out because we lost. Not because we lost power, because I've still got power going. I'm without power, but I've got a backup generator running. But everybody's without cellular or without the network. So we lost everything. There was no communication. Well, we were finally able yesterday afternoon to get communication with our neighbor, and he's like, you got a couple screens out, no big deal. But our generator's running, so our neighbors are able to, he was able to run his extension cord over to our house and get his beer fridge cold, so he's good. And they're able to go to our house and take showers because our hot water heater is propane, and so they're able to use our house over there as they need it. Yeah, so we're like, hey, just use our house as you need it, as a compound, and if people go down, if they couldn't use the house, and they can use our house as a compound to, so they can have some creature comforts.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, but we survived.
What part of Florida is
Cape
your
Coral? So it's by Fort Myers, Beach.
Okay.
So,
is there have you seen any celebrities down there so far?
Celebrities.
The important stuff.
No. I called Stretch.
They roll in tomorrow.
Yesterday, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Stretch, when will you be here?" And he goes, I'm not going to be there, buddy." I said, "But Stretch, there's people lined up. There's people lined up for autographs." And he goes, "Can you sign my name for me, Darren?" So I guess I'm going to have to sign Stretch's name. Stretch isn't going to make it. He's got too much going on with the old rock band.
The celebrities will roll in tomorrow, though, won't they, for the judging?
Yeah. I had a conversation last night with Chip. Chip's the announcer and everybody that does all the awards. So I had a little conversation with Chip about how to do awards last night, how not to interject names and whatever. I have to have a heart-to-heart with Chip every year so he doesn't screw things up.
Not to interject names. What do you mean?
Well, when you do awards at a barbecue contest, there's nothing that a team hates worse than when you get ready to announce awards and the announcer goes, "And all the way from Des Moines, Iowa." No, you don't want to hear that. You just want to hear Iowa's Smoky D's. And then you can say whatever you want. Or you don't want to say, "And back to the stage again," because if you haven't been on stage, then you're all pissed off, right? You just want to hear your name, and then you can say whatever you want as they're walking to stage. So anyway, I try and get that in Chip's mind, and every year he does really good for about the first 5 minutes, and then he relapses.
Then he falls back in the same trouble.
Then he falls back. He'd fall back. So anyway, it's fine.
How have you been able to handle things going on up in at the new restaurant and stuff? Or have you put them on a communication shutdown for the weekend? Or
Oh, no. We've, a little bit. I haven't worked. I had planned on working 4 or 5 hours every morning. I did really good at that on Thursday morning or Wednesday morning. I did a really good job of getting that done. Thursday morning, I worked for about an hour, and I'm like, God, there's just too much going on here, too much commotion. So I kind of went there. But, exciting update. Let me show you a picture. I got a picture last night of the Cheesecake Factory. It's got the rafters on it.
Wow.
Oh.
It's a building.
Amazing what you
Amazing
what you can get done in a small town, isn't it?
Oh, don't even get so it's amazing that they put the pad for the walk-in cooler in the wrong place after I built the walk-in cooler. So the builder calls me this week and says, they fucked up the pad. We're going to have to move this walk-in cooler. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, the door for the walk-in cooler opens up into the bathroom. I'm like, are you shitting me? He goes, don't worry. He said, it's just 5 foot off. They're going to pour another pad next to it. And I said, well, you can scoot that walk-in cooler. It'll scoot together as a piece. And he goes, yep. He said, that's what I figured. He says, we're just going to pour another footing, pour a 5-foot pad. I said, oh, good. And then we got a bonus pad in the back. We can, put a trash container back. We can put something else back there, or we can add on if we need to put something else. So anyway, supposedly that's what they did, or that's what they're doing. And they're framing that thing in, which then reminds me I got to get a hood system ordered like right now, which I haven't got done, so they can, because I know the electrician's going to be coming. They'll get that steel on that bitch next week, and they're going to be looking to do the electrical and plumbing, and I need a hood to get put in there so they can hang the hood so they can run the electric to it. So,
right,
it's moving quite fit. But you talk about working in a small town. You got to listen to this. So yesterday, the builder calls and said, hey, we called to get a temporary power pole out here. Now, mind you, my dad 2 weeks ago says,
I was going to say,
do I need to go up to the city and get a temporary power pole? Them boys are going to need power. I said, Dad, just let the general contractor handle it. It's not a problem. Okay, they're going to need power. I said, Dad, they know what they're doing.
I could hear it.
So yesterday, I get a call from the general contractor. Hey, we tried to get a power thing, but they need an account set up. The city of New London needs a power. They need a power. They need an account set up in order to get the temporary power. So my sister's down here with me, right? She's cooking cheesecake from Shut Your Pie Hole. She's entering the dessert category at the Jack. So her and her husband are down with their friends and brother and sister-in-law. They're all down here in the holler with us this week. So I said, hey, Mark, get on the phone, call the city of New London, tell them you need an account set up, because I figured they're going to be paying the utility bills, that they might as well set up the account. So, okay, right. So they called New London and said, they're like, hey, well, we need credit references. And they're like going through and they're giving them all kinds of shit trying to set up this account. And my sister says, isn't paying my power bill 30 years in a row with you enough credit? Oh, it's going to be in your name? Well, yeah, I'm the one paying the bill. Oh, it's okay. Well, can you just set up the power? And they're like, oh, no, we need the filled out application. We can't do it via email. We need it filled out. So now we have to wait until they get back, so then they can go start the application process on Monday. And then I'm sure it'll have to be reviewed by the city council, to see if they accept their application to get the power pole. And I'm like, you know what? You wonder why this small town has not grown. Because of shit like this.
Does the town sell the power or?
Yeah. Now, if I would have built on this is this is on 2 lots, they split this lot in half. So I put it on the north side of the lot because it was right next to the street, right? It was right next to the residential street. It's a corner lot. I could have put it on the south side of the street, which would have came off the main highway. But ours comes off the residential street. I thought it would be easier to be on the side street rather than come straight off the highway. On the south side comes off rural power, and it'd been being installed by now.
Right.
Yikes.
Just amazing.
I'll be damned.
Just truly amazing. Guess I should have had my dad go up there 2 weeks ago. Huh?
How big is the town of
How'd
New
what?
London?
How'd they get in the town of New London?
No, what's the population?
How big is it?
1,800.
Jesus Christ.
I'd rather deal
It's a little.
with the city of Chicago. I mean, I can get stuff done in the city of Des Moines so much easier than I can get done with that little shit in town. I mean, they've delayed this project 4 months.
That's so surprisingly. That's so
it's just
surprising.
Crazy. Well, and I think I've found out why, because I'm hearing that the city clerk, her husband wanted to build something on that piece of land. Well, that piece of land sat there for 5 years.
Right.
So we're going to make it difficult. Crazy.
Huh. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Oh, geez.
Hang on. I got to check my wood supply.
Okay.
So, Randall, while he's doing that, how's your week?
It's been pretty good. Had a big vending deal. We've had a couple caterings, so it's not been too bad, really. How about yours?
Pretty good. I haven't done much anything. But sit right here.
Oh, we got busted by a health department yesterday, so we're running illegal in town.
Geez.
So
you got busted?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Not having any permits.
They shut you down?
That'll do it.
He was going to, but then when when I brought out my big book of knowledge that shows all the certificates and stuff that I have, of where we're permitted in Sangamon County, Morgan County, and our commissary's licensed and inspected, had inspection sheets in there. All that I keep in a notebook. He's like, "Oh, well, you guys are fine. We're going back next Friday." He says, "Just make sure you come by or pay the $110 for the permit."
That's not too bad.
He hit it around about shutting me down. I said, "So am I good to go today or not?" And he goes, "Oh yeah,
Money
yeah,
grab.
You're good to go. You're good.
Money grab.
Yeah,
money grab."
Well, and I think they advertise, the local church advertises for us that we're going to be there, and we kick back a percentage to the church. And I think we do a very good business down there in the little town. And
Yeah.
I think we might have stepped on somebody's toes, or they think we did. But no big deal.
Amazing
I
how
will have to
small
say the
town
guys already
politics work.
sent me the paperwork and stuff. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
The guys already sent me the
Small
paperwork
town.
and stuff, so I got to get that. Yeah. Small county. This is the
Small
county health department. Yeah.
See, we're lucky, and because we're good. One permit is good in the whole. We're good in health
Metro.
permits. Good in the whole state.
Oh.
Now we may have to get
that's
a
right.
permit to operate within a city, but our health permit's good statewide.
Right. Yeah, that's not the case. You got to have one for each individual county or municipality.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we had one.
That's
had our
wild.
Des Moines permit came up. Our Des Moines permit came up, and it was due a couple weeks ago, and we had one last Des Moines event because our food truck's going away, right?
Right.
And we had one last event to do, and they said, "Should we re-up?" And the Des Moines permit's expensive as hell. And they're like, "Should we re-up for this one event?" I'm like, "Not a chance. We are flying under the radar for one event."
Right.
It was yesterday. We're good. It was yesterday.
So the food truck's officially done?
No, we got one more event, but it's not in Des Moines. So
Good Lord.
one more event.
I feel like it's kind of late for the food truck to be out.
Oh no, it's
I
not.
think
It would
but
normally be
one
closed
more
down by
event.
now.
One more event, and that thing's going to get some lipstick on it, and probably sit in storage all winter long and rot.
Yeah.
But if anything needs a good late model food truck that runs like a top, yeah, usevending.com.
Usevending.com.
I need something else to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to drive her down to Springfield, Illinois. Randy's going to, I'm going to give him a percentage to list it on usevending.com so he can deal with it, because I don't want to deal with it.
All right, I'll do it.
All right.
There you go. Problem solved.
Selling them. I like dicking around with them.
Yeah, you ought to be good. Yeah, you like dicking around with people. I don't like dicking around with it.
Oh,
no, I don't mean dicking around with people. I mean dicking around with selling them. It's always interesting to see who comes in, what country they come from to buy your truck, or whatever.
It's actually a good solid truck. We haven't. I'm not even saying anything. I was going to say we haven't had any problems this year with it, and then all of a sudden the fucking tires are going to fall off. But no, we haven't had any problems at all. It's been a good solid truck all year. Got a couple of refrigeration issues, but we're going to get that taken care of. I got my man T-Rex is going to get to work on that next week. He's going to get that taken care of next week. He said, let's just, once the jack's done, he's going to get in and dig into that refrigeration issues, because we just haven't had time to do it. He's going to get in and get that all fixed up, and we'll just be ready to go. Get her deep cleaned, and which is pretty damn clean now. So
now, speaking of T-Rex, how's he getting along? How's he enjoying the jack?
I think he's enjoying the jack. He's really taking it in. We went to when we got here Wednesday night. They had a champions dinner that they started about 3 years ago, and so the champions dinner, you go to a cocktail party hosted by the master distiller, And so you go up to the visitor center and you get some drink. They have a couple drink options, and they have just hors d'oeuvre type stuff, just little snacky stuff, lots of vegetables and cheese and whatever. And walk around for about an hour and a half, and then you walk in and you get a ticket to buy a special bottle. And this year, instead of just being able to buy one special bottle, they had a grab bag, and they had like ultra special bottles, or they had special bottles, and they had them mixed in. So sometime the first year they did this, everybody got a chance to buy a Coy Hill bottle. And people that don't know, a Coy Hill bottle in Jack Daniel's never released to the public. And these were bottles that were aged for many years, and they were on the top floor of a warehouse. And when they took this bourbon and they dumped it out of the barrel and these barrels are, I don't know, 55-gallon barrels or whatever, there was only about 2 gallons of bourbon left in it because the warehouse was so hot. It had dehydrated out and intensified that bourbon so much. It came out at 147 to 149 proof, but there was only 2 gallons of bourbon left. And so they took like 10 barrels and mixed them together and bottled them in little 375 milliliter bottles, so half bottles, and you had a chance to buy one of them. I think they could buy 2 of them. So the first year when they bought them, they became pretty, and I skipped, and I'm not spending $100. Tuffy Stone was cooking. He was cooking ribs. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So it was $100 a ticket. People bought 2 bottles. Those bottles today are worth $4,500 on the market.
Are they really?
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. Sought after bottles. So anyway, then last year when the Champions Dinner come up, I'm going. So I bought 8 tickets to go there. My sister and her husband's a bourbon guy, and so I bought 8 tickets to go to this thing. And I said, hey, I'm buying you tickets. You're going to the dinner, but I get the bottles. So we go there, and they had some 10-year and 12-year bottles, but no Coy Hill. I'm like, oh, this is great. So, but I bought 10-year and 12-year bottles, and they're not very valuable bottles, a couple $100 bottles. Well, this year we heard that there may be some Coy Hill bottles. Well, I bought 8 tickets again. Well, my sister couldn't get here in time, so I took T-Rex because he's helped us a lot, and his crew.
Sure.
So we took them to the dinner, and we went to the thing. And then when we got to go to the bottles, they had a drawing bag, and you could draw a chip out, and that was the bottle you had a chance to buy. So I get up there and I draw my chip, and it's a 10-year. And I look at the gal's like, okay, you can buy a 10-year. I'm like, nah, I don't want it. She's like, what? I'm like, nah, I got 10 of those at home. Well, then Sherry grabs a 12-year. I'm like, nah. She goes, you want it? And I'm like, no, I've got 5 of those at home. And I don't even drink, right? But so old Joe says, hey, you get whatever I want. So Joe Osprey gets up and he pulls out a 2021 Coy Hill. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Give me that chip. I buy it. It's a $100 bottle. So I go buy the Coy Hill. And it's a big bottle, not the small bottle. So anyway, fast forward, we only get one Coy Hill bottle. So the rest of the guys, they buy some 10, 12-year stuff, but I get one Coy Hill bottle. Well, then I take the bottle over to the reception. I get it signed by the master distiller to make it even more special, right? And then I'm sitting at dinner, and we had the most pleasant dinner at Miss Mary Bobo's because we didn't have the little old lady like we've had in the past, Randy. We had Nacho, and Nacho has been at Jack Daniel's for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, started in the barrel house, but now he is a master taster here. So he tastes about 5,000 barrels a year. And so he worked at the South plant, which was all the blackjack. And then he moved to the North plant, which is all the single barrel bottling. So every barrel that comes through the plant that gets single barreled, including all the Coy Hill, he tastes every single barrel. Plus he does all the private barrel. If you want to go buy a barrel of whiskey, he does most of those
Right.
tastings where they go up into the barrel house and they pull a barrel off the rack and you get to taste that barrel. So he's like, he told me, he said, let me look at that Koi Hill bottle. And he says, this is a super special bottle. He said, this is OG. This is the original Koi Hill. He said, this came from the top floor in the corner. He knew exactly the schematics of this bottle.
Really?
I mean, he knew everything about it. He knew everything about the bottle. He goes, do not open this bottle. He says, keep this bottle. This bottle is priceless. There will never, ever be another one of these bottles. He says, I know the 375s are going hot on the market, but he said, this is a special bottle. He said, and he turned around and he goes, you got it signed. He said, that's amazing. He said, I was going to tell you to get this bottle signed. He said, it's signed. He said, it's a really priceless bottle because there'll never, ever be another Koi Hill bottle like this. So it was kind of cool. And I looked it up. It's worth $1,000 online right now, unsigned. But
is it really?
Kind of just a collection. Yeah. So kind of a fun thing. Kind of a fun thing. But he was we learned a lot. We laughed a lot with old Nacho. He was just funny. He was just a funny guy. Worked at Jack Daniel's since he was 19 years old. Just a barrel of laughs. Yeah, lots of fun.
So for people that don't know, you said you went to eat at Miss Mary Bobo's. Explain that experience for down at the Jack Daniel's.
So Miss Mary Bobo's is a board. So Miss Mary Bobo's was a boarding house. Okay, it was a boarding house years ago, and Randy's been there. And so Miss Mary Bobo's serves. They have like 2 or 3 meal periods a day. It's a family style meal. So they probably got, 20 rooms in that place, maybe 15 or 20 rooms. And so you eat in a certain room. So you book, and I don't even know what it costs because I've never paid a cent to eat there. I've always been invited by people. But you book a table, so you can book a party of 6 or 8 or 15 or whatever, and everybody sits around a table, and then they bring out a family style meal. So like the other night, the Pitmaster dinner, it was special. So Chris from Heavy Smoke, he cooked prime rib and he cooked pork belly that he had done brisket style, which I would say was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was like top shelf, could not eat enough. But then they had like a garlic mashed potato, they had a corn casserole, they had fried okra, which is on every menu every time at Miss Mary Bobo's. They had some they had some cheddar biscuits. They had Jack Daniel's. Normally they have Jack Daniel's baked apples with some of the local spirits in it. They had Jack Daniel's peaches the other night as a special deal.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, but they have this big family style meal and you pass it. So some days they have fried chicken as their main course. Some days they have meatloaf. Some days they have catfish. But they always have fried okra. They always have mashed potatoes. A lot of times they have collard greens. And it's a family style. But at the end of the table, they usually have this, 80-year-old woman that sits there and is your hostess. And she tells you the story about Jack Daniel's and the story and how Jack, when people come to visit Jack, they stayed at this boarding house. And it's a whole history lesson. So you're eating this meal. And what's interesting is they sponsor kids from the local high school and the local college. They pay their tuition. Somebody pays the tuition. Somebody pays for their books. Somebody pays for their gas money to get to school at the Len Motlow College down the road. And in exchange, they work at Miss Mary Bobo's. And when they work at Miss Mary Bobo's, they're servers. And they work for tips. And they go around and they serve the sweet tea or the regular tea and the desserts. And they're just very outgoing kids. They're just very good. But you learn the whole history of Jack. They fill you up with this family style meal. And it's just a great experience. And I remember Randy one time, we're sitting there eating and we decided we were going to say a prayer. And normally they don't say a prayer, but we decided we're going to say a prayer. And we said, hey, Randy, because Randy, many of you don't know, he was always the Reverend Randy Twyford because he does have he does have his reverendship from the Universal Life Church of Modesto, California.
Modesto, California.
California.
Right. So
Exactly.
That's
back
how
in
he
the
used to
old
introduce
days,
himself on the episodes.
yeah, right. So in
Right.
the olden days, we used to have a 922 shot, and Randy led the 922 shot that
Yep.
way. And you can go on YouTube and see those videos. If you just put the 922 shot, you'll be able to see that Randy would do that, and Randy would start out by the powers invested in me by the Universal Life, by the county of Morgan. How was that, Randy?
Do
you
by
remember?
the powers invested in me by the state of Illinois, or whatever state I was in. State of Illinois, county of Morgan, and that was it.
And what else? There was something else.
There was some else.
By the
County
state of
Morgan.
Illinois, Morgan, the city of Jacksonville,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then, city of Jacksonville and the state of Illinois, home of the Honorable Rod Glavoyevich, which has been in prison.
Who's now in prison.
Or
right.
Which is now was in prison at the time. So, or
right.
how many governors we've had that have been in prison. So,
right.
You know, I think the largest crowd we ever had for a 922 shot was at the Jack Daniels one year. We were all down there.
Yeah.
I remember there on Saturday morning. It was huge. Remember that?
Huge.
We were all in rubber boots because it rained and stuff.
Rained, yeah.
But there was a hell of a crowd. That's, I think, the largest one we've ever had.
So we're at Miss Mary Bobo's, and there's 15 of us sitting around this table, and we said, Randy, we think you ought to say a prayer. So Randy starts saying this prayer, and he goes around and he said something about we thank you for all the friendships and the fellowships and any other ship that happens while we're in the holler or something like that.
Yeah.
I was telling that story to Nacho the other night, and we were just laughing our ass off. Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Sounds like it.
It's lots of fun in the holler. Lots of fun. I did get to, for not drinking much, I did do some tasting of some serious stuff. Last night I got to taste some stuff that was only international. One of the Jack Daniels, Brian Rosenfeld's one of the Jack Daniels reps. He's based in St. Louis now. And he says, hey, I got some special international stuff you can't find in the States. I'm like, oh, you got Silver Select. He goes, oh, no, this is much better than Silver Select. And so I'm like, what's that? And he goes, it was a traveler. And so he goes, I went to Portugal and acquired 2 bottles for Jack Daniels for a drugstore. Jack Daniels bottles, a special traveler edition for a drugstore in Portugal. And it was 107 proof bourbon that was like amazing, truly amazing. And so they do all this specialty stuff that you never get to see in the States. I mean, it's just crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, they do a 3-liter bottle on the line. 3 liters. It's a huge, huge bottle that goes international.
Gee, many.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. But one of the biggest one of the facts that I learned the other day, at all times, and Nacho, he was a wealth of knowledge. He was funnier than hell, but he was a wealth of knowledge. He said that at all times, because blackjack, what they do with blackjack, they just take bottles out of the barrel house as it's been aged. It's got to be aged, I think, 4 years. Once it's been aged 4 years, they're rolling barrels into trucks, and they take it down to the South Barreling plant, which is about a mile south of town, and they dump those barrels high speed, and they just mix it and put it in big, huge tanks. At all times, there's 250,000 gallons of whiskey ready to be barreled at all times. All times. They have 7 lines. In order to keep 7 lines running, they run 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. Sometimes they run 6 days. Sometimes they run 7, but for most time they run 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. It takes them 250,000 gallons of whiskey to stay running for a day. And so there are 250,000 gallons of whiskey coming through this plant every single day. That's just for blackjack. And then the other plant has single barrel, where they take just a single barrel, dump it out, put it in a bottle.
That's up at the old plant, kind of down.
That's up at the old plant.
Take the tour of.
Yep, and the single barrel, he says it runs in when they bring a single barrel in. They take it off. They take a taste of it. If it's not good enough to be single barrel quality, if it doesn't have the characteristics that this is great bourbon or great whiskey, if it's not great whiskey, they kick it out, kick it to another line, and it goes and gets mixed in with blackjack.
I'll be damned.
They just
That's
don't.
pretty
Be interesting to
Yeah.
Be interesting to know what percentage of those barrels get kicked out.
Yeah, I'll see him because we talked a lot about brisket, and he was trying to cook good brisket, and he had trouble cooking good brisket, and he said, but I am cooking it from a choice brisket. And I said, dude, I've got an extra Snake River Farms Wagyu brisket. You stop by here on Friday, you can have an extra brisket. So, oh, look, we have a guest today. Come here. You can just show off your shirt. No, show off your shirt. Look at that. Look at this.
The cherry?
Look at here. Look at here. Look at that. Look at that.
Wow, that looks good.
Hey, Sheriff.
Look at that.
Kids.
That looks
can't
nice.
hear
That looks
She can't
good.
hear you, but look at that. That's one
And
of a
tell her the
kind. She's
shirt
out of
looks
here.
all right too.
Hey,
Tell her the
Okay,
shirt looks
Randy.
okay also.
You made it weird.
Randy says the shirt looks okay too. He said looks great, but the shirt looks okay too. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
speaking
one
of
of a kind.
brisket,
The employees get black ones too. But
speaking of
Yeah.
briskets, I was out looking at trimming briskets the other day.
hey, Randy, let me finish one. Hey, Randy, let me finish one thought, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about brisket.
Okay.
So I asked Nacho. I said, Nacho, best bottle of bourbon coming out of this plant, right? Best bottle coming out of the plant because, where I was talking about podcast and whatever, and he says best bottle of coming out of Jack Daniel's right now. He says, go to any liquor store in America right now and buy our single barrel rye. Single barrel rye, $75. Taste it. He goes, I taste every single barrel that goes out of this plant today. Every single barrel that goes out of this plant today, single barrel rye right now on the shelves today, best bourbon coming out of this plant.
Really?
He said, I'm not shitting you. I'm not trying to market. I'm whatever. He said, it's the best bourbon coming out of here right now is single barrel rye.
I'll be damned.
Okay, back to brisket.
I
On
was
to the
cruising
next.
the internet, looking at trimming briskets.
That seems
the other day,
dangerous.
Trim and
and
briskets.
I came across that video, and I didn't realize you'd done it. That you'd done it at Snake River Farms.
Yeah.
Oh.
That for people, if they want to learn about cooking a brisket, and that you did a fab. And I'm not just sucking your dick. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm
Whoa.
telling you, it was
Bold statement. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that video is for anybody. I don't care what you think your category or level of
8:30 in the
skill
morning.
is. That video is perfect. You did an excellent job on that.
You should read
What-
the comments on that video. 'Cause
what else?
most people did not agree.
Well, yeah.
What
no,
did they
but
like?
look at the number. So that's like so they made TikToks out of that, and they made Instagram, whatever. I mean, that was one of their most produced videos. Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of haters on that one, but Snake River
Sure, there's
loved
gonna be.
that. Because was it just the trimming
Yeah.
one? Because there's a whole video of when I cooked that brisket, from trimming it to seasoning to whatever. And I tell you, that day when I shot that whole video series
the
on
one.
that brisket, right? Right. There's a whole video
That's the one.
series on that brisket from A to Z. And I tell you, I got that brisket and I thought, I'm going to get here and there's going to be this great brisket. And it was probably one of the least marbled briskets I've ever seen from Snake River Farms. I'm like, this is not going to be
Really?
good. And I'm cooking on a Green Mountain grill that I'd never cooked on. And then I cooked one on the
Right.
Green Mountain grill, and then I cooked one on this Viper pit maker Viper that I'd never cooked on. But the one on the Green Mountain grill, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to cook it, whatever. I didn't inject it. I didn't do anything to it. I just trimmed it. I just whatever. We're shooting this video, right? I'm telling you, that was probably the best brisket I've ever cooked in my life. Right? I just cooked
it looked it.
and I just let it rest. And if you look at that video after I cooked it and I sliced it and I held it up, just look at the juice. Most people do that whole squeeze the brisket thing. Just drives me fucking crazy. Yeah, anybody can take a piece of fat and squeeze it and juice will drip off of it. But when I took that brisket and held it up, and when you can hold it up and juice drips off of it, it was crazy. Yeah. It was just amazing off that pellet grill. I mean, it was just crazy. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a great video. I'm surprised how well that turned out. I'm surprised how well that brisket. And there was so many haters, but you know, it goes back to brisket. There's so many ways to, and I should, matter of fact, I need to tell Nacho about that brisket. I need to tell him about that video series because I always forget to tell people.
There's all of his answers right there.
Just take that link. Just go watch that whole video series. Was it one video, or because I'm so used to sending people to TikTok? Is it from A to Z all the way from trimming to cooking?
Yes.
It's everything from A to Z all the way cooking to the end.
Yes, yeah. Seasoning, slice, pulling the point back, the whole bit.
To all the way to cooking and slicing at the end. Did they make it into one full video?
Yes, it's one full video.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because I'm so on TikTok, they broke it into multiple segments.
Yeah, because they couldn't do one whole video.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's like 11 minutes, something like that, 11, 13 minutes. Excellent video.
Huh.
For somebody wanting to learn how to cook brisket, it's a good one.
Maybe our illustrious Emma could like figure out a way to maybe
I'll just tag it in the description.
Or maybe
it'll
she
just
could
be in the description.
Maybe she could tag that in a separate Cue the Mic post to get some traction.
You know what? Crazy enough, I could do both.
Whoa.
What talent?
I know.
Maybe you should start saying, I'm the lovely and talented Emma Derflinger.
There you go.
I'm not stealing Randy's thing.
Skilled.
Speaking of Randy's thing, Randy,
yeah,
we decided we were going to do an acronym segment.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have one today.
What are you?
Well,
you better start thinking, buddy.
You have 8 minutes until we hit an hour.
Well, you guys chit-chat.
Okay, we're checking it here.
Because you went on this whole...
Let me go check my fire.
Because, yeah, you...
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
I'm surprised. It's kind of cool to have an episode while Darren's actively cooking.
Right.
It would be way more fun if it was like... Well, actually, this is pretty good, too. I don't know how we could improve it. It's like those live streams he wanted to do where he was just cooking on TikTok lives. Does Sherry want to come back? She can come back.
He's got detained.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Well, I can believe that.
I had a little breakfast wrap from Starbucks this morning. Oh my God. I ruined somebody's day today, and I didn't mean to. And I have been thinking about it since 5 a.m.
What'd you do?
Did you take their Starbucks?
No, kind of. Okay, so I went to, after the gym, I had a rough morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get myself a pick-me-up. I'm going to Starbucks because it's the only coffee shop that's open at the ass crack of dawn. And so I went to Starbucks, and this woman was pulling in at the same time as I was, but we were coming from different directions, okay? And, like, the drive-thru is right here. Well, I was turning, like, right into it, and she had to stop to, like, let me go, you know? That's quite nice.
Avocado toast.
That is
on-
nice.
on keto bread with everything bagel seasoning.
Oh, that doesn't sound as good.
With
An
an egg
in the middle.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna eat while we're
You're gonna
eating.
eat it. But anyway, so I was pulling into the drive-through as this woman like turned her signal on to turn in, but like I was gonna let her go first because she kind of got there first, but like she stopped. So I just went, and she flipped out. Like
Did she?
she was honking at me and yelling at me out the window. And then she drove off. She just didn't. And then I watched her just drive away, and I was like, "Wow, I just ruined that person's Friday."
Shit.
Anyway.
T-Rex gave me a hard egg on my avocado toast.
Oh, what were you expecting?
You put a runny egg in the fucking middle of an avocado toast.
Yeah, you do.
Fucking kids.
Okay, I came up with an acronym.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's not as good as I'd like, but it'll do. LLW.
LLW.
Like last week.
What?
So, how to use it in context? How you doing today? How was your week?
LLW?
LLW. Like last week. So if you had a good week, you had another good week.
Can't say that's your strongest one.
No, it isn't.
I can say that's pretty fucking weak. That's pretty weak. You might as well just sit down.
God damn it!
While you're waiting for your shit to upload. Jesus Christ, Melly.
Yeah.
We have a new strong segment that we're gonna do, and you come out weak.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll take.
We don't even do segments, but we were gonna give you one because that's what people wanted.
How about RBA?
Now they're not gonna want it.
RBA.
You know, I was talking to Jordan from Janky Leg the other night at the Pitmaster dinner.
Right,
and he
said
they listen to. He likes listening to the podcast because we don't do segments. He likes listening because we don't do segments. He likes because you never know what's going to come out of our mouth, right?
Well, I'm going to say this now. Even if we did segments, we still would not know what was going to come out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
I could have a script, and I still wouldn't know what's going to come out of your guys' mouth.
Right.
So.
Should I yell at T-Rex? Should I yell at T-Rex?
No.
No, you.
No, I want to know why you shouldn't yell at T-Rex. I said no.
Do you know what a gooey egg is in avocado toast? Yeah. You sure the hell don't do avocado toast with a hard egg in the middle? That's how I do. Fuck. You drink Natty? Yeah, it's all drink Natty Light too, don't you? Let me get on my phone. T-Rex barbecue, bad Yelp review. I bet you cook a 158 brisket too.
You know, at least he made you breakfast.
Yeah.
Thanks for breakfast. Try again. I'm still hungry.
Yeah, there it is.
That's
surprising.
We were going to get him, I was going to get a bottle of Heinz because his last 3 brisket scores have been like 157, 157, 158.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get him a bottle of Heinz 57 and graphically put Heinz 158 on it. Have Haley do up a graphic, but I forgot.
Well, it's a slow morning out here on Twyford Road today. No combines, no tractors.
No combines? Damn.
They were thick through here this week, though. They were thick.
Is everything covered in dust? And, everything's covered in dust.
Well, a little bit of it is. Our corn, they haven't got our corn out yet, so I'm sure they'll get to it here the next few days. Otherwise, it's going to.
They better. Fall. What's the forecast? Supposed to rain or no?
No. Beautiful weather, and then I think Sundays turn off cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then turn off, stay cool for the rest until May.
Till May, till it snows 1.5 feet or 2 foot.
Yeah.
Well,
All
we're
right.
gonna
Well,
get
do we
this
have
jack.
anything else?
We're
Well-
gonna make. We're
Yeah.
gonna make room. Go find room in the motorhome for a jack trophy or two. Barrel heads, couple barrel heads, couple
Okay.
trophies. Try and mean it. If
You
we
better.
don't, we'll always wish we would have. Don't like to have any pressure, but we're ready to go. Hoping we can bring home a cheesecake crown. That'd be the ultimate.
Yeah,
There
that
you
would be
go.
huge.
That'd be great.
That'd be huge for the nude.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
hanging the Cheesecake Factory, and then
Right.
then we got to head back and hopefully get this Jam Cafe opened, and then get that done, and then off to the American Royal.
Woohoo! Is my mom going to the American Royal with you this year?
That's breaking news. We are shit canning the annual tenderloin fry.
Oh, are you
We
really?
are officially
That's
canceled. No,
bold.
you know what?
I can't
We
can't
just
believe
got
that.
we've just got too much on our plate, and just with the timing of everything, it's like the last thing that I need to be worrying about is trying to figure out how to feed 600 people a free lunch.
Right.
You
That's
know,
fair.
and it's
Well-
Halloween. It's Halloween day, and your mom was all for it, but I know she loves Halloween. And why tie up her day bringing stuff down and getting back late on Halloween? It's just one of those things. And my main fry guy Donnie Teal's not going to be at the Royal, and Justin and Kate, who are main prep guys, and the Shig and egg rolls didn't get rolled, and there's just a lot of reasons that some good things just must come to an end. And I think
There you
this
go.
is just the year to bring it to an end.
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right,
like
then.
it to me.
A lot of
Well, you
people are
heard
going
it
to
here first.
a lot of people are going
I
to be
can't wait to get
disappointed.
all of the hate comments.
Everybody's going to hate.
We're gonna
but
lose
you know what?
listeners over it.
Yeah. Oh well.
Gotta
Oh yeah. We're
protect
going to
your
lose.
peace.
If we're going to lose listeners, and to all the people that are all the old folks that listen to this on the jam, quit sending me messages wondering when we're going to open, because you know what? I'm going to open the damn thing and not tell you. I'm not going to announce an opening date. The last thing we're going to do is set ourselves up for failure. We're
There
not
you go.
going to announce an opening date and have people lined around the block and then fail. We're just going to open the doors one day, and people are going to figure it out and get some practice in.
Good for you.
We're not stupid.
I
We're
think
not
that's-
Yeah.
stupid.
Hey. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we gotta let Darren go.
Yep.
Get
Yeah.
ready
Darren,
for
back
the
to your
jack.
pork butts.
Lock in. I'm not
Get back
gonna
to my
lie, my
phone.
phone's been blowing up. I got lots of work to do today. I love
Okay,
that.
good. I'm glad you
Mine
got work
hasn't,
to
because
do.
it's
And
on airplane mode.
Yeah.
yeah, mine hadn't either. I put
But
mine courteous. Mine's on airplane mode.
well, I get notifications on everything. So yeah, well, this was episode 78 of Cue the Mic. If you haven't already, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod, or find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Send Darren some. Well, this will come out after the Jack. JK, LOL. Don't send Darren DMs, because by then it'll be over. But yeah, good luck, D-Dub.
Yeah. Good luck, Darren.
Randy,
Yeah, thanks.
take it away.
Thanks. Come on, rub the
Boom.
hat. Everybody rub the
Done,
hat. Everybody rub the
finished,
hat.
Out of here.
All right.
Lucky hat.
Boom. We're out of here.
All right.
Hope these pork butts get done by 11
Adios.
o'clock, because these maintenance guys got to eat.
We'll
At
see you
11
guys
o'clock.
next week.